Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel. Let's continue our course Intro to Programming. Today we will learn what is functions. But before that, let's give a small recap. Whatever we have learned yet, let's revise them. Okay. First we understood how to print by using the print statement. Then we understood how to do any operations, different kind of operations. What are the types of operations we can perform in Python and order of operations. Then we understood how to comment, how to make it more readable, what is a variable, how to keep any output values into a variable and use that variable later. Okay. Also, we understood how to manipulate variable, how to print them, how to store them, and how to use multiple variables in a single program. Okay, so you remember all of these things we have done and also how to do debugging. Okay, now our next is um, functions. First, let me tell you why functions are required. Functions are required to organize your code. Like, suppose you think that you want to know total number of rooms. And for that, you add total number of bedroom, total number of bathroom, total number of kitchen, total number of drawing room. Okay. So for every apartment you want to know the total number of room, you have to perform the same operations every time. Okay. So what you do, you are repeating the code. And that is not a good gesture at all. So what you can do, you can organize your code so that you don't need to repeat the code. You will write once you will code the total number of room equal to this. And later, every time you want to know the total number of room, you will recall those statements, recall that operation, and you will perform the calculation. You are not going to repeat that code again and again. Okay. When you will do the example, it will be more clear. Just understand. You need to organize your code and you will not write the same code again and again. Instead, you will call that the statements you have written once. Okay, that will make your program more readable. Anyway, let's see here. In this lesson, you will learn how to organize your code with functions. Fine. A function is a block of code designed to perform a specific task. Okay, for a specific task, you have written a function. As you will see, functions will let you do roughly the same calculation multiple times. You are doing the same operation different times, multiple times, without duplicating the code. But you are not writing the same code again and again, but you are using the same code. Okay. Now, intro to functions. We begin with a simple example of a function. They have defined a function. This is a function. Add underscore 3 function below accepts any number and adds 3 to it. See here, this is the function add underscore 3. You can define any name. Okay. So here the name will suggest you that what are the things done here. Okay. Now inside the parenthesis, see, first parenthesis, inside that you pass something depending on your code requirements. Here I am passing a variable input underscore where. Okay. Now what is the operation? Operation is output underscore where. This is a variable name. Variable we understood in our last class where you store the result so that you can use later. And inside that you have done an arithmetic operation. Arithmetic operation will take this value input underscore where plus 3 and then you have to use the return keyword. Return keyword will return the mentioned variable. Okay, so whatever the value will be after the addition, it will be returned. Okay, so you understand. Now, see what are the components. Every function is composed of two pieces, a header and a body. This is the header part, which is defined by using def keyword. If you don't know what are keywords, then keywords means some specified words that are already used by Python itself. Okay, and they have different purposes. Like whenever you write def, automatically Python will understand that this is going to be a function. Okay, so I write def add underscore 3 input where this is the header part. Let's see here. They have explained def keyword that tells Python we are about to define a function. Exactly. Now the chosen name you can give any name. Okay, for your function. Next one is the argument. This is known as an argument. That means like suppose you want to add 6 with 3. So the input underscore variable will be 6. So here it will be 6 plus 3, it will be 9. Later you want that 10. So you send input variable as 10. So what will happen? 10 plus 3, 13. Later you may want 15. So here it will be 15. 15 plus 3, 18. So you understand that you don't need to write this code again and again. Instead, you are just passing a value to it and it will be calculated. Okay. So this is known as argument. Whenever you will call the function, you will pass the argument. Calling the function means you are using the function. Whenever you are using the function, you will pass an argument and that argument may be used inside the function. Okay. And what is return? I told you return is also a keyword. Just like def, as def suggests that we are going to define a function, return suggests that we will return something. To whom? To the code we have called where I wanted to add at that coding part, I will return this value. Okay. See the header part. The function header defines the name of the function and its arguments. Every function header begins with def, which tells Python that we are about to define a function. Clear? In this example, the function name is add underscore 3. In this example, the argument is input underscore where. The argument is the name of variable that will be used as input to the function. To the function, I am giving it as an input so that it can perform any operations. And it is always enclosed in parentheses that appear immediately after the name of the function. Within the parentheses, after the function name, you pass the argument. You pass the input to the function. Note that a function can also have no arguments. Not necessarily you have to pass the arguments. There may be no arguments as well, or it may have more than one arguments. Okay, so it is not fixed like there will be single argument. Nothing like that. Maybe zero, maybe more than one, any number. Okay, that depends on what you want to do in that function. Okay, and after that you have to provide a colon. This is a syntax. This is how you tell the Python that please execute my program. Okay, these are the syntax you have to follow. Otherwise, what will happen? Otherwise, there will be a syntax error. Now, next part is body. The function body specifies the work that the function does. That means what function want to do. And every line of the code in the function body must be indented exactly 4 spaces. That is the rule of Python. Okay, don't worry about this. There are some rules Python follows so that like if everyone follows the rule, everything will be in order. It's the same concept. It will be more readable when you write some code and you follow some rules. Automatically, that will help the other person to understand about your code. So that's why they follow some rules. So they follow exactly 4 spaces. Okay. Now you can do this by pushing the spacebar 4 times or hitting the tab button. As you learn more about Python, you will understand the indent of your code. Okay. Next, the function does its work by running all the indented lines from top to bottom. It takes the argument as input, which is in example in input underscore where. This is the input. Now what function does? Function creates a new variable, output underscore where, and calculates this. The input plus 3. Okay. So your call, whatever operation you want to perform, you can just simply write. Okay. Next, in the final code called the return statement, just returns the value as the function's output. So it will return whatever the value is stored in the output underscore where. Okay. Now the code cell above just defines the function but does not run it. The details of the function body will make more sense after the next code cell when we actually run the function. Okay. Now how to run the function? I was telling you that the function will be called how to run the function or how to call the function. When we run a function, we can refer as calling the function. Now see, here I am creating a variable named new underscore number equals to add underscore 3. What is this? See here. This is the name of the function. So what you are doing here, you have defined the function. Now you are calling the function. Okay. So you have first created the function. Now you are going to use the function. To use the function, you have to call the function. So here you are calling the function and you are passing 10 as input. So what is happening here? Add underscore 3 is called. So your execution line will go here. It will be called and this one will be 10 because you are passing 10. So input underscore variable will be equal to 10. It will be assigned to 10. Clear? Now, this has started executing. So, you have to go inside. You will create one more variable. Here, you will keep 10. This value is 10 plus 3. So, it will be stored in 13. Then, it will return the value 13. To whom? To here. Who has called new number? So, now the returned value will be stored here in new underscore number. Clear? Now, you can print this. See, 13 is printed. Okay, so what is the advantage? Any times you can pass any argument 10, 15, 20, and you will get the value. Okay, you don't have to write it again and again. This may seem to be a small program, so you may think that what is the problem in repeating, but this will be more useful when you do so many statements in a single code. In a single part, you will write so many lines and you just call the program and it will all will be executed at the same time. You don't need to repeat. There you will understand the benefits more. Okay. See new number, the set the value of output variable to this new number. Okay. Now in more detail, add underscore 310 is the value that we get as output when we supply 10 to the input underscore var, call the function. When the function runs, it runs all of the code in its body from top to bottom. Then first calculates output underscore var equal to input underscore var plus 3, which sets output underscore var equal to 13. Okay, that's what we have discussed as of now. Now the final line of code is the return statement, which returns the value which is 13. By setting new number equals to add 3 underscore 10, we set new number equal to 13. We set new number equal to 13. Okay. What is the note? When we casually refer to this function in this tutorial, we use empty closing parenthesis after the function name. This is consistent with how people generally write explanations of Python code. And the empty parentheses just make it clear that we are referring to a function. That means that we are not passing the input variable. Instead, we are writing in this way. Whenever you get something written with some parentheses, you will understand that this is talking about a function. That's what they have said. Okay. When you have arguments, then also you may write in this way so that it is more readable. Like you can understand that this is talking about a function. Add underscore 3 is a function because there are parentheses. Okay. Now naming functions. Example above, the name of the function was selected for you. When naming our own functions, you should use only lowercase letters with words separated by underscore instead of spaces. Naming functions will feel natural over time and it is normal for it to feel uncomfortable at first. The best way to learn is by viewing a lot of Python code. See, when we understood what is a variable, we read some conditions that these things are not applicable, these things are better to follow. Like this, when you declare a function, it's good that you write this in small letter, lowercase letter, not in uppercase. And for every word, you just separate them by giving an underscore. Like say add underscore 3 in this way. Lowercase letter and the words are separated by underscore. Okay, that is a good way. And you will learn with time. Fine. Now a more complex example. Now that you understand the basics, we can move with a longer calculation. Okay, great. Say you are helping a friend to calculate their weekly paycheck after taxes. Okay, let's see how much they get paid. Okay, they are in a 12% tax bracket. In other words, 12% of their salary is taken for taxes. So they take home only 88%. Now they are paid hourly at a rate of $15 per hour. Okay. The function below calculates the paycheck based on the number of hours worked. The function is more complicated than with the first example because the function has more lines of codes and comments, more lines of comments and code. Okay. The function has a single argument, num hours in the function body. See, this is the function name, get underscore pay, def, the keyword which tells the Python that I am going to define a function. I have given a function name, I have given parentheses, within the parentheses I am giving the input or we can say the argument, number of hours. That will be passed to this function whenever we will use the function. Fine. Now here, this is a variable I have created and that is how much tax I am paying. Sorry, this is before the tax you pay. Here you get paid $15 per hour. So num of hours, how many hours you are working, maybe 10 hours, 15 hours, whatever it is. With that, you get $15 per hour. So you get what you uh, get paid before you provide the tax. Fine. Now after the tax you pay based on 12% tax bracket. You have to pay 12% of what you earn. So after that, how much you get? So this is simple math. Just you have to calculate the subtraction 1 minus 0.12%, or we can write 0.88%. Then you add it with this portion. Okay. This is the amount you have income. This is the amount you have earned. Now you calculate 88% because you are taking only 88%. Okay. So now this is the amount you are actually getting after you have paid the tax. And now you return this amount. Return keyword will return this amount. To whom? Where you have called the calling function. Okay. Now we call this function the same way we call the first function. Okay. The next code cell calculates the paycheck based on working 40 hours. See here. Now you are calling the function. How to call the function? By giving the function name get underscore pay, and you are saying that I have worked 40 hours in this month. And now I want to know how much I will get after I have given the tax. Clear? You understand the purpose? So you are calling the function. Now this will go to this function 40. So number of hours is equal to 40 now. Now 40 will be replaced here. 40 into 15. So you will get something for pay pre-tax. After that you apply some more operations to calculate what you will get after you have paid the tax. Now this is returned. Returned to whom? Returned to here. Pay underscore full time. Because here you have called the function. So this return will come back here, and now you can print this pay underscore full time. Okay, I hope now this is completely clear to you. Why we need a function, how to define a function, and how to reuse this function again and again. Okay, maybe someone has worked 30 hours, someone has worked 25 hours. So you don't need to repeat this code again and again. You just change the argument. Okay, and you call the function and you get the value. Okay. Now see, to quickly calculate pay based on a different number of work hours worked, you need to supply with a different number. Exactly, for 32 hours or for anything. Okay, so this person who have worked for 32 hours will get this amount after he or she has paid the tax. Fine. Because you wrote a function, you can calculate pay for different hours without having to rewrite all the code over again. Exactly. Functions can help you to avoid errors in your code and save a lot of time. You don't need to write again and again, so your time is saved and less chances of mistake. In general, when coding, you should aim to write as little as possible. Okay, because each time you type out a calculation, it's another opportunity that you will do any typing mistake, you will do any error. Python has to calculate more, it will take so much of time. So these are the advantages of repeating the code. Okay, instead you just write as little as possible, as organized as possible, and for that we use function. Fine. Now we will understand the term variables defined inside the function body cannot be accessed outside of the function. Whenever you declare any variable inside the function, like see here, this is inside the function. This is inside the function. This variable cannot be accessed outside. Okay. For instance, see if I want to know print pay underscore after tax. Where it is defined? It is defined here. So if you try to access this outside the variable, you will get an error. See, it will say name error because Python cannot find that. That is written in the function. So that is alive in the function only. Once you get out of the function, that variable is dead for Python. So Python will not be able to find. So Python will show you the error. Okay, so you understand the scope. Once it is defined inside the function, you cannot access outside the function. Okay, you have to remember this. Now you will get the same error if you try to print other variables. For this reason, if you need any information from a function, you need to make sure that it appears in the return statement at the end of the function. If you want anything, you have to return it. Okay. Then only I can access it. If you have just declared it inside, used it inside, and then uh, forget about it, then you have come outside the function. Now you cannot access what is there inside. It's like think that you have a room. So whatever you have kept in the room, You cannot access it from outside. You have to come inside the room. You have to use those items. Then you are just leaving this in the room and you are going out. It's like that only. If you want to access, then you have to take it outside from the room. Okay, clear. Now we refer to variable scope as the part of the code where it is accessible. Variables defined inside a function have a local scope of in that function only. You can use that in the room only. So it's local. However, as you have seen, variables defined outside all functions have a global scope and can be accessed anywhere. What is outside of the room? That is global. Anybody can access that. Now, functions with multiple arguments. So far, you have learned how to define a function with just one argument. To define a function with multiple arguments, you only need to add more arguments inside the parentheses in the function head and separate them with a comma. We do this with get underscore pay underscore with underscore more underscore inputs function below, which calculates a weekly paycheck based on three arguments of hours, hourly age, tax bracket. See, this is the function name, and what we are doing here, we are passing three arguments. Okay, I told you that it's not that only one argument will be there. It may be zero, it may be more than one. So here I am passing three arguments because I need three of them as inputs whenever I call the function. Okay. So before tax pay, see this, they have given comments in a nice way. Before the tax, you get paid number of hours into hourly wage. Fine. But after the tax, you have to pay this one pre-tax into 1 minus the tax bracket, whatever your tax bracket is. So what we have done here, earlier we considered that the tax bracket is 12%. That was fixed. Now they have said that please don't make it fixed. It may change. If your income is lower, you will be in a lower tax slab. If your income is higher, then you have to be in different tax slab. Okay. So for low income, you will give 10%. For high income, you will give 20%, 30%. Okay. So this is also a variable. So we are not fixing it. Instead, we are taking it as an argument and we are using this in this way. Okay. Now then to call the function, you need to provide one value for each input. Whenever you call the function, I told you that you have to provide three inputs and separated by comma. So see here, 40 is the number of hours, 24 is the hourly wage, tax bracket is 1 to 2%. The order you have provided, it will be assigned in the same order. Okay. So if someone has worked for 40 hours, that person get paid $24 per hour and they have to give 22% tax bracket. So you will get what he will get after giving the tax. Okay. So you can see that a single line can solve problems for many people. You can take any employee, you can take their number of hours, how much they get per hour, and what is their income tax slab. You just put all these three and you calculate this amount. Okay. Now see, the following code cell gives the same result for different people as I have said. Now depending on how we plan to use, it can be more useful than the original function because it addresses more cases instead of potentially incorrectly assuming the hourly wage and tax bracket. The new function allows the user to specify the correct values. But if you are sure the hourly wage and tax bracket won't need to change, the new function is just more complicated than necessary. In general, when defining functions, you will need to consider how much flexibility you need based on your case. Okay, so depending on your problem, you may create the flexibility. Now, next, functions with no arguments. Note that it's possible to define a function with no arguments. We have understood how to create a function with one argument, how to create with multiple arguments. But we can also create without any arguments. Like if I create print underscore hello, see here, print underscore hello, and I am writing something general. Hello, you, good morning. So if you call the function print underscore hello, this function will be called, and here it will be printed. Hello, you, good morning. Okay. Now the course is short and meant as an introduction to programming. So we won't cover everything you need to know about functions in this tutorial. You will learn even more about functions in Python course. Okay, later you will understand. Leave it. So now it's your turn. Write your own functions in Python. So first, this one is for setting up the notebook. Let it run. After that, our question starts. See, in the house prices, advanced regression technique competition, you need to use information like number of bedroom and bathroom to predict the price of a house. Okay, if I want to predict the price of a house, I want to know what is the price of a house. I have to consider number of bedroom, number of bathroom. Okay, depending on these things, my price will vary. Now see, in the next code cell, create a function get expected cost. I am trying to derive the expected cost of the house prices. Okay, so I have number of beds, number of bedroom, and bath, number of bathroom. Two arguments. See, beds and baths. Okay, now it should return the expected cost of a house with that number of bedrooms and bathrooms. Assume that the expected cost for a house with zero bedroom and zero bathroom is 80,000. Though this is absurd, but think that this is the best price. Now each bedroom adds 30,000 to expected cost. Each bathroom adds 10,000 to the expected cost. Okay. Now, for instance, they have given some example. So what you have to do, you just have to write value equal to they have defined the function for you. Def get expected cost, the function name, beds and baths. These are the arguments. Now you have to calculate here. So value equal to first I have to write the base price plus each bedroom adds 30,000. So we can write beds into 30,000. If two bedroom, then 2 into 30,000. Three bedroom, 3 into 30,000. Plus, I have to add the bathroom also, 10,000 for each bathroom. 5 baths into 10,000. For one into 10,000. For two into 10,000. This is the base price. This is for bedroom. This is for bathroom. Fine, I think it's fine. Let me run this. Uh, why is that so? Baths, it's defined. Oh, I don't know why it happened. Okay, this is correct. Fine, we have done first one. If you want, just uncomment and check it. Fine. Question 2. You are thinking about buying a home and want to get an idea about how much you will spend based on the number of bedrooms and bathrooms. So you are trying to decide between four different options. You have many options and you want to know the best option. Option 1, house with 2 bedroom, 3 bathroom. 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom. 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom. 3 bedroom, 4 bathroom. Okay, so you have four options and you want to know their values so that you can decide which one will be best one. So for option 1, you have to call this function get expected cost. Okay, so this function. So I can just copy and paste it here. So what I am doing, I am calling the function and here I have to pass first option 2 bedroom, so 2 comma 3 bathroom 3. Okay, so what will happen? This function will be called, bed will be assigned to 2, baths will be assigned to 3. Okay, now next, same way, I'll just copy this, paste, paste, paste. Second option is 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom. Exactly opposite. Okay, fine. Third one is 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom. 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom. Next one is 3 bedroom, 4 bathroom. Bathroom more than bedroom. Fine, whatever it is. Now see. Okay, so you get the different cost values. Okay, so you just pass the arguments, you call the function, you do the operations again and again. Now, depending on your budget, you can select which house you want to buy. Fine. Okay, now next question. You are a home decorator, okay, and you would like to use Python to streamline some of your work. Specifically, you are creating a tool that you intend to use to calculate the cost of painting a room. You want to know what will be the cost for painting a room. Okay, so how to calculate this? Square feet of walls, total square feet of walls to be painted, square feet of ceiling to be painted, number of square feet that you can cover with 1 gallon of paint. Okay, and what is the cost? These are the things you will need to calculate the cost. Fine, let's see. It should return the cost in dollars. Putting 1 coat of paint on all walls and the ceiling. Assume that you can buy the exact amount of paint that you need. So you can buy partial gallons. and you can buy that exact amount instead of needing to buy 8 gallons. Okay. Okay. So first you have to uh, define the function. I want the cost value. So first I have to calculate the total amount, square feet of walls plus square feet of ceiling, right? So I'll copy paste plus square feet of ceiling. Okay, this is the total square feet where you have to paint. Now, now I have to now I want the number of I got the number of square feet, and I want to know the number of square feet that I can cover with 1 gallon of paint. So I have to write square feet per gallon. Okay, so I get the total square feet, then per gallon how much I can cover, and then I can write total cost per gallon. Okay, so what I am doing here, first I am calculating total number, then I am dividing it square feet per gallon. So I will get that how many gallons of uh, paint I need. Then I am I'm multiplying it with cost per gallon to get the value. Okay, fine. Now if you want, you can check the solution also. Okay, they have done 3 steps. Fine, no problem. You get the point. Now you use the function you defined to calculate the cost of applying one code in a room. Now you have the information that in a room, 432 square feet of walls, 144 square feet of ceiling. Ceiling. Now you want the cost. So you have to call this function, this one. So uh, call this. Here you will pass square feet of walls. How much? 432. Ceiling 144, and 1 gallon of paint covered 400 square feet, and cost is $15. So the cost will be 50, and square feet per gallon is 400. Now let's see. Sorry, this one will not be here because I'm calling the function that is used only for defining the function. Okay, great. Now the next question. Now you say you can no longer buy fractions of a gallon. Okay, I was buying some fractions, suppose. But here they said that this is not how you can buy a paint. You have to buy complete 5 gallon, whatever you need. Okay, for this scenario, what you have to do? You have to, you will create a new function, get actual cost that uses the same input, calculates the cost. One function that you will need to use to do this is math.sil. Math.sil function, this is a ready-made function you are not creating. This will create a ceiling. That means this will convert this 4.3 to 5. Now we demonstrate usage of this function in the code cell below. It takes number of inputs and rounds the number up to the nearest integer. Okay, so whatever, if you give 5.3, it will be 6. If you give 6.5, it will be 7. You don't give the point, but you take the nearest integer value. Okay, now see, run the next code cell to test the function for yourself. Feel free to change the value of test value and make sure that it returns the number you expect. They are saying that just check for 2.17, it has taken 3. For if I provide 2.07, see 3, if I give 3.07, 4. Okay, so you get my point. Just the nearest value it will take. Math.sil. CAIL. Okay. Now use the next code cell to define the function. So get actual cost. This is the function. Same function. And you will use this function to do this. When answering this question, note that it's completely valid to define a function that makes use of another function. They are saying that you can define a function and inside that also you can write a function. This function, I'm not defining this function because this is already there in the Python library. If it's not clear, no worries. There are some functions which are already there in the library. We just can call them directly. We just can import them directly. Okay. And some functions we can create by ourselves. So functions are of two types. One which is already in the Python library, retained by the developers for your ready-made usage. Second one is you are creating by yourself. It's like that you have some frozen foods and you have some fresh vegetables. So you can cook by yourself also from the fresh vegetables, or if you want, you just can take that fridged food and you just microwave it. Okay, it's like that only. Now, where were we? For instance, we can define the roundup and divide it by 3. That make use of math.cell function. So what is our job here? We have to calculate the cost with using the cell function. Okay, let's see what is there in the hint. The only change you need to make is method to round up the number of gallons you need to purchase. Oh, okay. So what we can do, the same things. Just let me copy this one, and uh, what I have to do, I have to convert it into math dot to round up the number of gallons. Okay, you have to convert the number of gallons. So I have to write math dot cell, and then I will pass the whole thing. Okay. So first total places where you have to paint, then divide it by square foot per gallon. That means how many gallons you will need. Now I am changing it to math dot cells. So one more bracket. Okay. Then I am adding it with cost per gallon. So if I get 4.3 here, 4.3 gallon, 4.5 gallon, then it will be converted to 5 gallon. Then I will add the cost. Um, okay, it was not needed. Okay, great. So once your function is verified, you can run. You can just let me show you. We are just passing some values. This is the wall, this is the roof, this is the cost per gallon. Sorry, 15 is the cost per gallon. This is how many gallons you need. Okay. Sorry, square feet per gallon. How many gallons you need, you have to calculate. Larger roof. Okay, so we have finished this. Next one is about data types. Okay, so I hope you have understood what is a function. Function are some defined code so that you can organize. You don't need to repeat the same code again and again. Instead, you are keeping it in a single place and you are using it multiple times. Okay, and function is of two types. One is user defined. User defined means you are creating the function, and another one is already written by the Python developers like math.cell. You just have to call the function. Okay, what are the advantages? There are many advantages we have understood, and that's all. That's the thing we have learned for now. Okay, so meet in our next video. Till then, bye. Happy learning.